Why am I still not happy? That's how you're feeling in life right now. I'm sorry for you, and I also think it's a good thing you've come to realize that there's something missing, something that you're looking for, something that you still are just not getting. Because I know when they first started really feeling into that question, why am I still not happy? I was actually, pretty fulfilled in my life in a lot of ways. I mean, I had a lot of success. I was achieving a lot of the things that I wanted to at that point in life, and yet there was still this like underlying, just like, bleh, just like, I don't know, I'm just not happy. I don't feel like what I've created, what I'm living, what my life is not making me happy. I'm not. There's something else, I guess. There's something else I'm looking for. And as soon as I really felt that, life started taking me on a journey, honestly, of learning to find that. And the simple truth is that, as the Buddha said thousands of years ago, suffering exists. It just is. And you could say it's sort of the human condition, right? This general unhappiness with things. We're always seeking to find more happiness and trying to get away from all the things that cause us unhappiness and try and find more of the things that make us happy. And it's not, that's sort of just how things are. And so the sooner you can accept that, the better, right? But you can also strive for what you want and for what really makes you happy, what brings real fulfillment in your life. And that's what this journey in life has shown me. And even after, this has been a long time, many years now, since I first had that initial realization or desire, this wondering, this question of how to be more happy, how can I be happy, and can say that it's an ongoing process because this general like unease with life is always ever present within the human condition. But there's another part of ourselves, that deeper part of ourselves, and that's really what is being called forth when we start to ask this question. We start to realize that the things of life aren't bringing us happiness. Maybe we've had a lot of success and, have all the things we thought we wanted in life, and yet still not feeling alive, still not feeling whole, not fulfilled and happy in who we are. And one sign that you really are finding that is you start to discover the joys and the really simple things in life, and you see how freaking magical they are. Things like this magical forest here, and dandelions, and fresh aspen leaves, and a beautiful spring day, and the birds singing, and the sound of the river flowing. I know for me, part of the secret was spending time out in nature. That's when I just started asking, okay, if I'm not really happy, well, what things at least do really make me happy? What makes me feel good? And I started doing that, and I started spending time out in nature because that was where I was like finding a lot of actual happiness that didn't seem to really have like a downside to it, right? Like maybe drugs or drinking or a good party night makes me like, woo, I'm all so happy, I feel so great. But then the next day or for several days afterwards, feeling like total shit, feeling just, down in that depressive state that I know really well. I'm not free of that, even after many, many years and much spiritual awakening and like these deep, expansive states of bliss and living in what I call this God mode, which is phenomenal beauty and bliss and connection and that potential to feel deep peace and love right here, right now, with who we are, with not needing anything to really feel happy and fulfilled and at peace. It's right here. It's really what we are, our natural state. But even with all of that, there's still our humanness. There's still this 3D world. It's always here. And it's really the magic. It's why we're here, is to really live into this 3D, this human body, and all of the magical things that are here on this planet, this glorious planet. And whatever it is for you, but I know for me, being out in nature is one of the best ways to find that alignment, find that peace. So it's up to each one of us to find that for ourselves. What is that real alignment? What really brings us joy in the simple ways in life, and start practicing that. And that's part of the path into your higher self. It's not the whole thing, because you're still then always relying on, circumstances or things in your life to help you be at peace, to be fulfilled. And ultimately, that's not going to cut it. Um, Although it's your choice, you can take that, you can live life that way if you want. That's your freedom, your free will. But if you're really searching for a deeper connection to yourself, to life, to God, the source, and wanting to experience that here as yourself, the ultimate true experience of your divine nature is as connecting to the truth of who you are, which is God, which is the source of all of life, and bringing that all the way down into this 3D reality, all the way down to your toes. Once heard someone saying that, reach up and grabbing God and bringing him all the way down to your toes. That's what it's like. That's when something comes online that's beyond the 3D, but fully here. This is what I call God mode. Being in that God state, fully embodied in your divine essence, but here in the body, here in this life, being this limited human being. But now, here you are, here we are, feeling that connection with all of life. And the simple joys, the simple beauty, the simple things in life is what you find is so radical, such a blessing, such a gift. Just love it. So, this search for happiness is really a call into your higher self, the calling forward to be something greater, but to be it here in the now. And so breaking free out of the 3D is something you got to do. And the 3D is not only this three-dimensional reality that we're in, but there's these dimensions within yourself, right? There's three main ways that we experience reality, that when we're really stuck, we're really immersed in the 3D, we're immersed in all of our suffering. We're not able to access any kind of divine or awakened states or higher energies or bliss, peace or love. It's because we're fixated, we're stuck in the programs of the 3D. And these are lived out through our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, or our will, our desire. These three different realms or bodies of our consciousness, of our human experience. Right? We have our mind, our mental awareness. We have our heart, our feeling awareness. And then we have our body, and this will, and the desire. All this here. And these are three different energetic centers. And in Qigong, they talk about the three dantians. There's this lower dantian around your belly, solar plexus, the middle dantian, and the upper dantian around your head, this mental, this emotional, and this physical domains. These 3D, these three dimensions of your consciousness. And this is how we experience the 3D reality. But we're more than that. We're more than this 3D. And the simplest way for you to even begin to grok that and believe in that, and maybe you're something more than that, right? Because if you can have thoughts, if you can have feelings, if you can't stop your mind from thinking You try and do meditation. I can't stop my mind. My mind's doing its thing. But who's the you? Who's the one having these thoughts? This is why people ask this and why the mindfulness teachings start asking that. Who am I? Who's the real one? Who is that I am? Because that's the deeper source of who you are. Awareness. You're just awareness. Not just even. You're magically, amazingly, powerfully, profoundly awareness. And this awareness is larger than your physical being, than your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your will, your desire, what you want, all these things. And this is the source of unhappiness, comes from not knowing that, not feeling that, not experiencing the truth of who you are, being stuck in that lower, third dimensional only experience of yourself. And in that place, there actually is a lack. You're lacking your true self. You're lacking that wholeness. You're lacking connection to the source, to God. Even though you never can be separate, you're experiencing that separateness. This is the source of all suffering. This is the source of your unhappiness, and ultimately is the only source of true happiness. True fulfillment comes from learning how to be connected with who and what you really are. And it's not just a theory or a philosophy, an idea. There's actually a capacity you can develop to be connected in this way, to experience your connection with your own self, with your higher self, with the source, with God. It's all the same thing. You are everything. You are the source that lives within everything. When you go to the deepest part of yourself, when you learn to experience yourself as the truth of who you are in your fullness, it's giving you some river, little creek here. It's God, it's source, it's everything, it's all of life, it's all here. You're connected to all of it. You are all of it, and you can remember that. But that's the end of the journey, perhaps. From that spiritual human journey perspective, when you enter into this God mode, there's nothing else. You're not looking for anything else. There's nothing else to be spiritually, you know, attained, because you're just it. You are one with everything in life. You feel that oneness. You feel the connection, the depth, the beauty, the grace, the peace, and you literally do become filled with light, knowing that you are that. So this is why you can say the fact that you are unhappy and you know it, even if everything in your life is how it's supposed to be and all that you manifested and all these things, you're still not feeling that. It's a good thing. It's telling you, hey, wake up, become more of what you really are, calling you forth into your greatness. And that profound peace and bliss and love and freedom are waiting for you, and that real happiness and fulfillment is possible right here and right now, no matter what is going on in your life. Because at that deepest part of yourself is profound fulfillment, happiness, and peace. That's why the Buddha said there is suffering, but there's a path, there's a way out, right? It always exists, it's always here. There's always a path, there's always a way out. You can break free from that 3D. And then you can bring that divine essence all the way into the 3D. And now we're really talking about how you're living radically beautifully into this 3D life, with all of the grief, with all the pain and the suffering, with all the lack and the desires, All of it here, we can feel all of it and also feel that grace of what we are. This is what the true power of breaking free means. Gives you that freedom beyond all those limitations of the 3D experience, and then you bring that fully here into this moment. And the key, the way to begin, and the way that drives takes you, and it'll take you all the way through the whole journey, is alignment, resonance, connection, learning to feel that alignment of what's really true for you. This is the simple practice or way of being in life that heals everything and will take you from whatever the most limited states and most full of grief and sadness, despair and rage and separation, lack, and all the way into the very like highest and most expanded states of being, of realizing your oneness with God, the source, with everything in life, and being it right here. It's alignment. And alignment is simply when your thoughts, feelings, and your actions, or your desire, your will, what you're embodying, living in this moment, what you're doing, what you're being, are in alignment. That your thoughts aren't over here while your heart's feeling this one thing and your body's doing this other thing, right? They all come into an alignment. And it's these three energetic centers on top of that. So next level is beginning to tune into the energy of thoughts, the energy of feelings, the energy of your desire or what you're holding in your body, these energetics, and finding what is alignment, what resonates. This is why we say that. It feels good when things resonate. Yeah, that feels good. Well, if you start following that, making that your golden rule, that you're not going to do anything, you're not going to follow any path that doesn't resonate. You're going to stick to what's really true for you, what resonates, regardless of what anybody or any book or any dogma or anything out there says. You know, I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. I'm saying, you know, you got it within you. And that's all you need to know. You find that resonance, you find what that feels like, start following your heart, following this inner guidance system. It's going to lead you where you need to go, you know, whatever I follow with that. But I think it's going to lead you on synchronicity and magic and bliss and connection and freedom. It's also going to lead you into the things that are going to cause you to grow and evolve, those things that you need to happen to, you know, confront, and the old stories and the patterns and all these things. So it's not all like fucking bliss and all of that. But, and yet that's always here. Being human, being in the 3D is about evolution. And we're learning to integrate all these patterns and stories, programs of the 3D so we can bring it into a higher resonant frequency experience collectively on this planet. That's why we're here. And that's what doing the work is. But even with all of that, it's all about resonance, learning to connect with what you really are, living as the truth of who you are. And this is why in the Bible it says to be in the world but not of it, right? What does that mean? To be outside of the 3D, knowing that you're God. You've just forgotten it. Every moment, oh, you forgot again. You can come back. So this is the key. And resonance, alignment is what helps you to be in the world but not of it. Not trying to escape this world. We're trying to break free of those limiting patterns so we can access that higher resonant energy, that source energy of God, of love that we are, and bring that here and bring that healing energy to our personal experience and to the world around us. This is the work. This is why we're here. So I wish you great peace and love and really living into what it is I'm sharing here. Sorry, trying to find that light. It is a beautiful thing to know what you really are and to live and be that here on this glorious planet. So I wish for you to find that, to know that within yourself. And stay tuned for the next conversation we get to share here out in the beauty of these wilds. I wish you blessings.